From the campus of Santa Clara University, this is the WCC on ESPN+. This afternoon, the Santa Clara Broncos host the Gonzaga Bulldogs in a WCC showdown. Hi again, everybody. I'm Joe Rizzo alongside Ben Ross. Great to have you with us here for this matchup. And what a matchup it should be, Ben. Two of the leading contenders in the conference, the two highest scoring teams in the WCC. Should be a great matchup.
No question about it. And if it's anything like the matchup here last year, we have got a good one in store for you. As you look at the standings, Gonzaga, they've won 12 in a row, red hot, number 17 in the nation. Santa Clara, though, is undefeated at home this year, 8-0, and as we said, they pulled off the upset here last year, although a couple of weeks ago up in Spokane, it was all Gonzaga in the first matchup. So we'll see if the Broncos can get a little home cooking today and pull off another upset.
Those WCC standings brought to you by Lenardi's Market. Gonzaga in first place, Santa Clara tied for third. A lot on the line here in this afternoon's matchup. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, coming in with that gaudy 18-2 record. They're ranked 17th in the country, and all five starters average in double figures. They're led by Yvonne Ejim, 20.5 points per game.
It's a tough team to slow down because Ejim is so good inside and they can shoot the three. They've got lots of shooters. That's why they score so many points. Certainly a challenge for anybody defensively.
Meanwhile, for Santa Clara, 15-5 overall. They've already matched their win total from a season ago at 3-2 in conference play. Of note, Keely Frawley is back in the lineup after missing the last game. And of course, Tess Heel, she's the one that makes this Broncos team go at 18 points per contest.
And she had a great game last time out for Santa Clara in their win against USF. Just a sophomore, but plays so mature. If Santa Clara is going to have a chance to pull off the upset today, Heel will certainly have to have another strong performance.
You mentioned these teams just met a few weeks ago, January the 11th, up in Spokane. A dominating win for Gonzaga, 87-49 was the final. It's a one-point game at the end of the first quarter. And then the Zags outscored Santa Clara 27-9 in quarter number two and would cruise from there as we get a miss on Gonzaga's first possession of the game. And now Santa Clara with the basketball. These are the top two three-point shooting teams in the WCC, the top two free throw shooting teams. We expect a lot of offense here today as the Zags come away with a steal. These are also two of the most experienced teams in the conference. Of course, the Zags with the Trong twin sisters as we get a whistle away from the ball and a 3-second call. Nice to be able to lean on a couple of fifth-year senior guards that have been in just about every kind of scenario, which you could say about the Trong sisters for the Zags. We'll see how the Broncos are able to match up here today. We mentioned Santa Clara unbeaten on this floor. An 8-0 record as Olivia Pollard knocks in a three. Pollard picking up right where she left off. Hit 8 threes in the two home wins last week.
Yeah, she is shooting the ball with so much confidence right now. And the answer by the aforementioned one of the Trong sisters.
That's Kaylin Trong who hits the shot plus the foul. A foul on Pollard. Kaylin Trong playing in her 147th career game today. That is the most in Gonzaga school history. Averages about 11 points per game and a conference leading 6 assists per contest. As she does complete the three-point play. So pressure here from the Bulldogs. And now a trap across center court. And we get a held ball as Keely Frawley hits the deck. It'll be Santa Clara basketball in the alternating possession.
Yeah, this Gonzaga pressure early on already causing some trouble for Santa Clara. The Zags like to speed up that pace, and they already forced one turnover from the Broncos. The held ball there. Santa Clara's going to have to find a way to attack that pressure.
And we're going to get an offensive foul on an illegal screen, and it's on Olivia Pollard, which is her second personal. Only a minute 36 into this game, and Pollard's going to have to sit.
That could be huge. second leading scorer on the team. We just talked about how confident she's playing, how well she's shooting the basketball. So we'll see if the Broncos can hang in there without her right now.
It's Emma Schaefer, number 52, that has replaced Pollard. Probably going to see a lot of Schaefer here in the first half, as that bucket from Brenna Maxwell, one of the top shooters, not only in the WCC, but really the entire country. And she gives Gonzaga a 5-3 lead. Ashley Haraki finding Frawley. Now Tess Heel with a touch. Heel probing. Now back up top to Edmondson. Here's Schaefer, 7 to shoot. Schaefer posting up and lost it momentarily. Clara Edmondson comes away with it then under the basket, and she is fouled. And that's going to be the first on Ejim.
Bulldogs foul number 15, Yvonne Ejim, her first team foul.
So kind of a disjointed possession there for the Broncos, but it does result in a couple of free throws. As we get a look at Lisa Fortier, the 10th year head coach at Gonzaga, all she's done, 251 and 61, the win-loss record.
Not bad at all. 5-time WCC Coach of the Year in 10 seasons.
Gonzaga currently ranked 17th in this week's AP poll. They're undefeated in conference play. They've won 12 in a row overall, and that's a big reason why. Ejim underneath. Nearly 21 points per game for Ejim. That leads the conference.
Well, this team just has so many different ways to score. You talk about the 4 preseason all-conference players. Ejim inside. Terrific three-point shooting on the outside.
Gonzaga basketball here with a 7-4 lead. Early first quarter action from the Levy Center as we get a whistle away from the ball. And a foul is going to be on Laura Edmondson. Olivia Pollard already sitting with 2 fouls. And now the first on Edmondson. 6:58 to go in the first quarter. Here's Maxwell putting it on the floor, looking for Ejim. Now kicks it into the corner, and the three-pointer is good. Kaylee Trong, 13 points per game. Shooting it at 38% from three-point range. And Gonzaga's opened up a 10-4 lead. Heel well short on that shot, and it's out of bounds to Gonzaga.
Hey, almost thought it had to be partially blocked with how short it came up, but apparently not. Just going back to the Zags offensively, that last possession is a perfect example of why they're so hard to defend. It's a pick your poison. You want to double Ejim inside. It's going to leave a shooter open.
Terrific ball movement and a finish for Ejim.
And when you can pass the ball like that, it's tough to defend. You can see why this Zags team averages better than 81 points per game this year.
Zags on a 12-1 run and have opened up an 8-point lead here in the first quarter. Ashley Haraki, a three-point attempt, is no good. Ejim the rebound. Here's Ejim, another touch underneath, that time a little too strong. Good interior defense from the Broncos. Santa Clara's made just 1 field goal. That early 3 from Pollard, who's on the bench now. We're nearing the midpoint here of the first quarter. Heel still with it, and the elbow jumper off the mark, and a Gonzaga rebound. Gonzaga coming off of a 29-point win at home over St. Mary's. Here's the quick release from 3. Maxwell, no good, and Frawley pulls down the rebound.
Broncos just trying to get to this under 5 media timeout right now. Hang in there, as you said, a 12-1 Gonzaga run.
Nice pass to a cutting Edmondson. There's 2 for Santa Clara.
Really pretty and a nice answer. The Broncos needed that basket.
Edmondson with 3 early points. Broncos down 6. Gonzaga swings it. Maxwell gives it up to Hollingsworth. Kaylee Trong with it. Kaylee Trong was injured most of last season. She's back and healthy. Eventually into the hands of her sister Kaylin. She misses, but an offensive rebound. And there's Kaylee again. Her second made 3. And now a 15-6 Gonzaga lead.
Well, as a team, this Bulldogs roster shoots 40% beyond the arc. And they've already hit a couple in this one.
Frawley long on her jumper. Zags will look to push. Here's a straight-on three that rims out from Hollingsworth. The rebound tapped and controlled by Santa Clara. Inside of 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 15-6, the Gonzaga lead. Tess Heels yet to score for Santa Clara. Here's Haraki on the wing. Haraki driving, trying to get her defender in the air, but fantastic defense from Hollingsworth. Just shut that play down. Gonzaga in transition, but a pass knocked away and stolen.
A lot of, sorry there, Joe. A lot of dribbling these last few possessions, I think, for Santa Clara. And give credit to Gonzaga, underrated defensively, but the Broncos need to get the ball moving a little more.
Broncos just 2 of 8 shooting the basketball. Heel driving and no good, but a foul. And she'll have a couple of free throws coming on the other end of this timeout. 3:09 left in the first quarter. Gonzaga off to a fast start. They lead 15-6.
All right, fans, turn your attention.
Back here at the Levy Center, the Broncos and the Gonzaga Bulldogs in this WCC matchup. Second of 2 regular season meetings between these two programs. Santa Clara snapped a long losing streak to Gonzaga on this floor a season ago. The Zags had won 14 straight in the series. Streak that had dated back to 2016. Tess Heel at the line after the foul on Maxwell. Broncos have brought Mariah Hudgens and Jade Kadee into the game for the first time. Callie Stokes, number 10, is in for Gonzaga. Bree Salenbein also into the game for the Bulldogs. 2 Heel free throws makes it a 15-8 margin. Gonzaga up by 7. This is Hybens, number 5, also that's in, is Trong. Kaylin Trong misses the short jumper. And a Santa Clara rebound. Heel looking to push. Nearly traveled, picks up her dribble, now needs help. Finds Mariah Hudgens on the perimeter. Heel, little step through and a finish. Nice move there from Tess Heel. And she's got 4 straight points.
Tough shot. She's got the complete offensive game, too. She can hit it from the outside and work her way in. And, of course, she's so good at drawing fouls and getting to the line.
Going to take a massive game, you would think, from Heel, the Broncos to have a chance. Aggressive move there from Callie Stokes. Sophomore guard, 4 points per game off the Gonzaga bench. Zags up by 7. Late first quarter, Schaefer looking to hit Edmondson. The pass, though, too tall and out of bounds.
Keely Frawley back in the Bronco lineup for Laura Edmondson.
3 turnovers for the Broncos as Keely Frawley back into the game. We still haven't seen Olivia Pollard since those 2 early fouls. Less than 2 minutes into this game. Nice pass underneath, and the touch pass from Salenbein, and a layup for Gonzaga. As Hybens on the board with her first points. 19-10 as the Gonzaga lead. Matches their largest advantage here in the first quarter. Tough shot for Hudgens off the mark. Stokes the rebound.
You can just see the Zags right now getting better looks. The passing has been terrific. And they're getting a lot of free jump shots and layups inside.
What a test for this Broncos team defensively. Good defense there. The Broncos do give up the fewest points per game of any team in the WCC. going up against the highest scoring offense in the conference. Less than a minute to go here in the first quarter. Heel driving, and Tess Heel off the window. She's got 6, brings the Broncos to within 7.
And after missing her first 3 shots, then getting to the free throw line, she's made her last 2, and that's exactly what the Broncos need out of her. Be aggressive. She's starting to get it going.
Half a minute to go here in the first quarter. Gonzaga shooting it at 50% from the floor. Here's a wing 3, and that's good. As Kaylin Trong, her first made 3. Trong sisters have combined for 3 threes.
Kaylin made 7 threes last game for Gonzaga.
Final seconds, Tess Heel, give her 2 more. Tess Heel is keeping the Broncos close here in this first quarter, as Santa Clara trying to remain within striking distance against the first place Gonzaga Bulldogs. Fast start for the Zags on the road after 1 quarter. Gonzaga 22, Santa Clara 14. Back here at the Levy Center, campus of Santa Clara University. Joe Rizzo, Ben Ross. Broncos and Bulldogs today. Gonzaga up 8 as we start quarter number 2. Esther Little into the game for the first time for Gonzaga. Maddie Narrow also checks in for Santa Clara, and Olivia Pollard's back on the floor. She'll play with those 2 fouls. Tess Heel sitting as this second quarter gets started. Gonzaga shot it at 53% in that first quarter. Broncos at 42%. And just that 1 early 3 from Pollard on the Santa Clara side is once again a nice look. And Hybens with 4 off the Gonzaga bench.
We've seen some great passing from this Gonzaga team right there. Trong with the nice dish, and already that's now 9 assists for this Bulldog squad.
9 assists on 10 made baskets. Zags match their largest lead, up 10. Haraki thought about the 3, and in doing so, drew the contact. And that'll be the first foul on Saladine.
It will be interesting to see where the Broncos turn for offense, with Heel getting a quick breather to start the second quarter. As you mentioned, Pollard back in there with those 2 fouls. She would figure to be a focal point of the offense with Tess resting.
Ejim returns now. Conference's leading scorer. Here's Haraki to Edmondson. The baseline jumper is blocked by Little. And the Zags come away with a loose ball. Saladine, the transition 3 is no good. Ejim right there. Missed the putback, but gets another opportunity. 3 chances added on that possession for Gonzaga. And they're now up 12.
Ejim just sticking with it. Great effort.
Broncos just not getting many stops right now against this high-powered Gonzaga offense. Here's Jade Kadik creating some room. Tough 3 is no good. And a Gonzaga rebound.
The other issue for Santa Clara right now is on the boards, getting out rebounded 13-6, including 4 offensive rebounds. 7 second chance points. You don't want to give this Bulldogs team any extra looks.
Oh yeah, they're also the top rebounding team in the conference. They do everything well. As Ejim off the window, the left-handed finish. And a little spurt here for Gonzaga, 6-0 to start the second quarter. And it's going to force a Santa Clara timeout. They're going to have to get Tess Heel back into the game, as Gonzaga has doubled up their lead, 8:01 until halftime. And the Bulldogs up by 14. Gonzaga's opened up a 14-point lead here. Early second quarter from the Levy Center forces the Santa Clara timeout. Broncos have got their starting 5 now back on the floor. Trying to stay close here in this first half. Not let the game get away from them like what happened in Spokane a couple of weeks ago. Here's a corner 3, a good look for Frawley. Couldn't hit it though. And Gonzaga comes away with a rebound. Gonzaga has not been playing very many close games since conference play started, dominating the competition. No surprise, they were picked to win the WCC preseason. Here's a deep three, perfect from Kaylee Trong.
That's just a shooter doing what she does. She is feeling it in this one. 3 for 3 beyond the arc.
Kaylee Trong, the highest three-point percentage of her career here at Gonzaga this season, as that one rolls out from Ashley Haraki. Gonzaga in transition, and Ejim beats everyone down the floor. And the Gonzaga Bulldogs on an 11-0 run here to start the second quarter. And this was the quarter when things really got away from the Broncos a couple of weeks ago. Here's Edmondson, and count the basket. Laura Edmondson, much needed there for Santa Clara.
Yeah, nice cut. Pollard delivering it right on the money. And that was certainly needed for the Broncos.
How about our keys to the game? Brought to you by A Tool Shed Rentals. Bet on the Santa Clara side.
Yeah, well, certainly perimeter defense going to be important. Defending the three, not easy. 4 for 9 so far for Gonzaga, containing Ejim. Again, she's tough to defend. Easier said than done. 10 points, 4 rebounds in the early going, averaging better than 20 a game. And then maybe a little Levy magic. We mentioned that this team is 8-0 at home this year. We'll see if the home court can help Santa Clara get back into this one. We talked about the upset last year in this building as well. Still a long way to go, but the Broncos are going to need to start getting some stops.
Laura Edmondson missed the free throw, but a lane violation, so she got a second crack at it. She'll now head to the bench. Schaefer is back in. Malia Latu also in for the Broncos for the first time. And some pressure here for Santa Clara, trying to make things a little more difficult for this Gonzaga team that's right now shooting it at 58% from the floor.
And Bill Carr just trying to switch things up a little bit, give them a different look, see if you can get them out of the rhythm that they have started this game in.
Kaylee Trong driving, and the ball deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Gonzaga. 6 on the shot clock. Kaylee Trong will now come back in here for Gonzaga. 6:23 left until halftime. The pass underneath to Ejim, and we're going to get a foul. And it's going to be on Latu. Got a hand in there. And free throws coming for Yvonne Ejim.
All right, let's take a look at our keys now for Gonzaga as Ejim goes to the line. She's a pretty good free throw shooter, by the way, although she missed that one. But for the Bulldogs, yeah, taming Tess Heel. We talked about the leading scorer for Santa Clara. She's got 8 early points. You just don't want to let her go off too much if you're the Bulldogs. Limiting the turnovers, that's always the key to an upset, I think. The Broncos trying to get some extra possessions in this one. And number 3, pretty simple. You've won 12 in a row, keep it rolling. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They are playing terrific basketball right now, and they've started this game strong as well.
34-17, the Gonzaga lead. Heel lost the dribble, finds Haraki. Now Latu will drive, has the shot blocked. Stifling defense there from Ejim. Here's a skip pass as Gonzaga rotates it right back here in front of the Broncos bench. Now Ejim has it blocked by Schaefer.
That was great defense. Verticality, just put the hands up, stayed right with her.
Heel loses the basketball, trying to make a move. Now the Zags will look to push. With that pass a little bit too far. And it was ruled off of Santa Clara. And they are going to change that. Out of bounds. It'll go to the Broncos with 5:27 left in the second quarter. Broncos at just 33% shooting and still only that 1 3-pointer. Broncos average about 8 made threes per game. They're going to need to get a hot from deep if they're going to get back into this. Here's Heel with a basketball. Dribbles baseline, terrific pass to Ashley Haraki.
And I think that's what can open up maybe some of the free looks from three. You got to get inside that interior passing, collapse the defense. We'll see if the Broncos can get a little more of that as this game goes on.
Back the other way, the second foul on Latu. 2 team fouls in the quarter here on Santa Clara. Latu will head to the bench with Jade Kadee back in. 15-point Gonzaga lead. Bulldogs trying to remain perfect here in WCC play. That 5-0 record. The Bay Area road trip for this Gonzaga team, as they'll be taking on San Francisco on Saturday. Here's Stokes. Gets cut off baseline, and a pass over the head of Hollingsworth and into the backcourt. It'll be a Gonzaga turnover.
Broncos have definitely stepped up the defense, and a big 4.5 minutes, I think, to close this first half. If you're Santa Clara, you don't want to let it get out of hand, obviously, the way it did the last time these teams played in Spokane. You can get this thing maybe to single digits. It's a very different looking game in the second half.
Yeah, just to feel like you're in it. Going into the halftime locker room, here's Heel driving, difficult shot, came up a little short. Gonzaga's largest lead of the game was 19 earlier in this second quarter. Ivins operating underneath, goes over Schaefer. Ivins with 6 now off the Gonzaga bench. He averages about 6 points per game. Has seen an increased role this season, junior forward. Haraki trying to hit Schaefer, ball's on the floor, fight for it. Haraki comes away with it. Broncos keep possession. 8 to shoot. Heel thinking about it. Trying to find Schaefer. A pass, though, that Ivins had, it looked like, and then it deflected off of her and out of bounds. The shot clock hits 0, and the officials are going to come together here. And the Broncos are going to keep possession with, they're going to call it 1 second on the shot clock.
Yeah, that's interesting. You thought maybe they'd say it was a change of possession and reset it altogether, but I guess 1 second is better than none. It's going to have to be very quick.
Heel is going to inbounds it right in front of the Gonzaga bench to Jade Kadee, and her three-point attempt is blocked. Maxwell was right there to swat it away.
Well, this Gonzaga defense, I think, doesn't get the recognition sometimes that it deserves because they score so much, but they are very well coached, fundamentally sound, and long on defense.
And they have come ready to play here this afternoon. Nice scoop shot there from Hollingsworth. Her first points. And Gonzaga back up by 19, matching their largest lead. 3 minutes to go until halftime. Keely Frawley's three is off the mark. Once again, the Bulldogs will look to push it.
And I think those are the types of shots that are going to need to start falling for Santa Clara, obviously, to get back in this one. Just 1 for 6 beyond the arc, 7 for 21 from the field here in this first half.
Stokes picks up her dribble. Now Hybens underneath. Tough shot. Good defense from Frawley, and she's got the rebound. Heel has it, and she's fouled. And free throws coming. The foul on Stokes will be her first.
Pretty good defense there from Stokes. Maybe just a little bit of body contact, but that's what Tess Heel does so well. As you see a look on the replay, Heel gets to the free throw line so often. She had shot 125 coming into this one, and she shoots them at 90%.
Heel's had 7 20-plus point games this season. It's the first free throw. They're both good for a heel. She's got 10. First Broncos player into double figures. 10 of Santa Clara's 21 points. 38-21 is the Gonzaga lead. Late second quarter here at the Levy Center. Broncos' home winning streak certainly in jeopardy here. As the deep two is good from Kaylin Trong. The Trong sisters have combined for 17 points in this first half. Kaylee with 9, Kaylin with 8. Trap set up. Excellent look. Heel somehow was able to see over the defense and find a wide open Ashley Haraki.
You said it. That is not easy when that trap is coming in on you. And great eyes, great delivery on the pass from Heel.
Heel's got 3 assists now to go with her team leading 10 points. Haraki misses on the steal. It leaves a wide open 3-point shot from Kaylin Trong. She misses. And Olivia Pollard corrals the rebound. Broncos with the basketball, down 17. Broncos still shooting it at only 36% from the floor. Only 5 turnovers. Here's Pollard, and Pollard underneath with a bucket. Her first points since that early 3. Back to a 15-point game. Final minute now until halftime. Ejim swings it. Here's a deep 3 from Salenbein that's short. Offensive rebound, though. And Ejim with a bucket.
What a read by Ejim. She just saw where that ball was going and sprinted to the spot, got the offensive rebound. And that is now 9 second chance points to none for Gonzaga.
Game high 13 for Ejim as Heel splits the defense and finishes. Seeing the top 2 scorers in the conference today with Ejim and Heel, and they're both doing their thing. Right now the difference is Ejim is getting a lot of help. Here's a pass that's stolen by Haraki in the backcourt, and we're going to get a Gonzaga foul. They did have a foul to give. The clock stops with 3.5 seconds left. Oh, it was a foul on Ejim.
Second personal. 4th team foul.
And for Ejim, that is her second. I think the officials are going to check the clock here. Right now, 3.5 remaining. Well, do remember to stay tuned. The Bronco men will be hosting Pepperdine tonight. That's coming up at 7 o'clock, part of a doubleheader here from the Levy Center. You can catch it right here on ESPN+.
22 JV back in the
Bronco men off of a nice win over Portland last weekend. They'll try and keep it going.
And of course, they were able to beat Gonzaga a couple weeks ago here at the Levy Center as they put a little bit more time on the clock, 4 seconds. So certainly a chance for the Broncos to get a decent look here.
We'll see if they can draw something up. 15-point Gonzaga lead. Pollard is going to inbounds. Gets it to Heel on the run. Heel from center court, and she is fouled.
Wow.
With 0.1 on the clock. The foul on Esther Little. What a mistake there from Gonzaga. On a half-court shot will give Heel 3 free throws.
Yeah, that's massive, and it's a tough break for Little. You don't want to even give the referee a chance to make that call and give her the half-court shot. Instead, you send a 90% free throw shooter to the line for 3, and of course, right as I say that, she misses the first.
Still 2 more here for Heel. Broncos were down by as many as 19 in the second quarter as we get another look at that last call. So 2 out of 3 for Heel. And that will bring us to halftime here at the Levy Center. And a first half really controlled by Gonzaga. They were up 8 at the end of the first quarter. Stretched the lead out to 19 on a couple of occasions. And we'll head to the halftime locker room up 13. Broncos a lot of work to do to get back into it.
Well, they closed that half strong, which I think was big. We talked about trying to get to the single digits. They didn't quite get it there, but 13 points still in this game. I think if you're Gonzaga, no panic, obviously. You got to be happy with the way that you played for the most part in that first half. Just keep doing what you've been doing. And the Bulldogs looking every bit of that number 17 ranking right now.
Gliding hot shooting, Gonzaga at 56% from the floor in that first half. We'll have all the stats and highlights coming up for you next at the half from the Levy Center. Gonzaga up 13. At the half here in Santa Clara, the Gonzaga Bulldogs with a 42-29 lead over the host Broncos. Matchup between two of the top teams in the WCC. Time now for our first half stats, brought to you by West Coast Sports Institute. Then what jumps out at you here?
Well, obviously the Zags shooting better than 50% from the field. That's something that they do so well offensively. For the year, they're at 49%. And just great passing, great efficiency. I think what jumps out to me is the rebounds. Not only up 19-9, but 5-0 on the offensive glass and a 9-0 advantage in second chance points. If you're Santa Clara, you just can't afford to give up extra chances for this good of an offensive team.
Both teams took care of the ball well. The Broncos hit just 1 3 in that first half, 1 for 6. Usually a big part of their offensive attack. Tess Heel leads all scorers with 14 first half points, 4 of 8 from the floor, 6 of 7 from the foul line. Meanwhile, on the Gonzaga side, the conference's leading scorer, leading the way, Yvonne Ejim, 13 points plus 5 rebounds, 9 for Kaylee Trong, 8 for Kaylin Trong. Gonzaga hit 4 threes in that first half, 4 for 11. So no surprise, Gonzaga really the edge in just about every statistical category. But it was big. Olivia Pollard, 2 fouls in the first minute and a half, and that kind of altered everything for Santa Clara early in this game.
Yeah, you pointed it out during the break, Joe. Pollard only able to play a little over 7 minutes in that first half. A -2 on the court, so essentially even, but you're right. I mean, she didn't get a chance to stay in the game very long, and certainly this Santa Clara offense and the team really looks very different when you've got both she and Heel on the court at the same time.
All right, so that'll be something to watch in half number 2 as the Broncos try and hang in there against the first place team in the conference. We're at the half, and Gonzaga up by 13. Welcome back to the Levy Center. Joe Rizzo along with Ben Ross. The Gonzaga Bulldogs have a 13-point halftime lead over the Santa Clara Broncos. And Ben, let's go back to those keys to the game, kind of see where we're at first on the Gonzaga side.
Yeah, we'll start with Gonzaga. Taming Tess, well, Heel has gotten her 14 points. I think what's really been important for Gonzaga defensively is they haven't really let anyone else get going. 14 of the 29 points for Tess Heel, so only 15 for the rest of the Broncos. As far as limiting the turnovers, Bulldogs, pretty good job taking care of the ball with just 6. And, a lot of them not necessarily live ball turnovers, not allowing Santa Clara to get easy points. As far as keep it rolling, I think they certainly have. They've won 12 in a row coming in. They're shooting 56% from the field, and they look about as good as we expected them to. This team ranked number 17 in the nation for a reason.
Meanwhile, on the Santa Clara side, what do you think here, especially containing Ejim? That really didn't happen in that first half. She got hers with the 13 points, 5 rebounds.
She did. I think they did actually a pretty good job, defending the 3 outside of Trong, outside of Kaylee Trong, who was 3 for 3. The rest of the team was just 1 for 8 on threes. But you're right, Ejim really took control inside with those 13 points, 5 rebounds. again, it's easier said than done. This is an all-league, potentially all-America type player that we're talking about. And then as far as the Levy Magic goes, well, we'll see. 8-0 at home this year. They're going to have some work to do if they want to keep that streak alive, but certainly they're very comfortable in this building. And, down by 13, definitely within striking range. They're going to need to get off to a quick start, I think, in the third quarter.
Broncos have done it before on this floor against Gonzaga. They beat the Zags right here a season ago, ending a 14-game losing streak in this series. So big second half will be needed for the Broncos. Right now down 13. We'll have more at the half next. 42-29, the Gonzaga lead at the half. The team's back on the floor as we get ready for second half action from the Levy Center. Taking a look back now at some of the first half highlights in this one. Broncos got that early three from Olivia Pollard. Turned out to be the only made three-point shot for Santa Clara in that first half. And then it was Gonzaga that really got things going. A terrific interior passing with Ejim finishing. Broncos getting something there from Laura Edmondson. She had 6 points in that first half. Tess Heel did get going a bit, especially into quarter number 2, a game high 14, but really just too much Gonzaga. The Bulldogs maintained a double-digit lead that entire second quarter.
I think when you look at these highlights, especially Gonzaga, the passing is just terrific, and it led to a lot of open looks and layups, and that is what they do so well. There's a reason they shoot almost 50%. And then, of course, the offensive rebounding, 5 in that first half, none for Santa Clara. That's going to be a key, I think. Again, we've talked about this Bulldogs team and how they score. You don't want to give them extra possessions. And so Santa Clara's just going to have to find a way to box out defensively. There's a great look, though, from Heel out of the trap. More of that, I'm sure, is what Bill Carr would like to see on the offensive end if Gonzaga does go with the double team.
I think it's such an underrated part of Tess Heel's game. You see the points, and those are usually gaudy numbers, but how she's able to get her teammates involved among the conference leaders in assists, and her passing abilities are also top-notch, some of the best on the West Coast.
Yeah, better than 4 per game, you're right, and that can sometimes get lost. And I think that's going to be important in this second half when you look at the Bulldogs, or when you look at the Broncos, rather, and that first half box score. Tess Heel scoring just about half of their points. Only 3 other players have scored, period. So I think Santa Clara needs to get more players involved offensively if they want to get back into this one.
Both teams will have their starting 5s on the floor here to begin the third quarter. It'll be Santa Clara possession. Final game of a 3-game homestand for the Broncos. They're trying to go 3-0. They clobbered Pepperdine and also knocked off USF here last week. But their work cut out for them here in this second half, down by 13. It was a 19-point difference. A couple of occasions in that second quarter as Olivia Pollard with a nice move but couldn't finish. And back the other way now with Ejim down low. Ejim operating, elevates, and gets one to go. Ejim with a game-high 15.
She is looking as advertised today. Great shot there. The little hesitation move. She's tough to defend. 15.
Pollard gives it up to Hiraki. Broncos will reset now with 12 on the shot clock. Here's Hiraki driving. Gets cut off. Nice bounce pass to Edmondson, and it rolls off. Well, Broncos have had a couple of pretty good looks here to start the third quarter, but nothing to show for it. Now Ejim to a cutting Kaylin Trong, and she's got a chance at a 3-point play.
And how about the pass there from Ejim out of the post? This whole team is just so well schooled delivering the ball, but Ejim, we talk about the 21 points a game. She averages better than 2 assists as well, and that was a good example of her passing ability.
First foul on Heel, and a quick 5-0 spurt here for Gonzaga to start the third quarter. Broncos get it across the timeline. Now the trap comes on Haraki in the corner. She's in trouble, and a Gonzaga steal. Perfectly played there by the Zags defensively. It seems like the ball always moving offensively for this Gonzaga team. Ejim has the shot blocked. Second opportunity, no good. She'll kick it back out. Kaylin Trong for three.
Well, this is what we saw to start the second quarter. I think it was an 11-0 Gonzaga run. They have come out of halftime on fire. And a timeout, Santa Clara.
37 timeout charge to Santa Clara. We'll take
So Bill Carr is going to stop things here. It'll become a full timeout as the Bulldogs 8 straight points here to begin quarter number 3.
That means it's time for the price on the way.
Gonzaga Bulldogs on an 8-0 run here to start the third quarter. Force the Santa Clara timeout. This is the largest lead for the Zags tonight. And we'll see how the Broncos respond out of the timeout. It's Olivia Pollard, and it rattles out. Everything but the finish.
Boy, the Broncos have had a few of those to start this second half, huh? A couple of good looks, just haven't been able to fall, and kind of how the day has gone for Santa Clara, that close.
Foul was on Schaefer on the rebound, her first. The Broncos have still yet to score here in the third quarter. Here's a quick release three that's a little short from Maxwell, but a long rebound. Bulldogs still with it. Kaylee Trong misses her first three-point shot of the day. It had been 3 of 3 before that attempt. Broncos basketball in need of a bucket here. Frawley driving, tried to hit Schaefer, ends up in the hands of Tess Heel. He's going to reset with 10 on the shot clock. Heel down low to Schaefer. Ball's knocked away and stolen, but then taken right back by Olivia Pollard. Finds a wide open Keely Frawley. Misses the three. The Broncos still just one made three in this game. Very uncharacteristic.
And that was another great look. Sometimes the shots just don't fall, and that's been the case today.
There's that ball movement now into the corner. Kaylee Trong misses, but another offensive rebound for the Zags. Hollingsworth couldn't get it to go, however. And it's Broncos basketball. Here's Haraki, a bounce pass to Schaefer, and it's knocked off of Schaefer, out of bounds. And it'll go back to the Bulldogs.
Good quick hands there by Trong.
Kadee and Hudgens back in for Santa Clara. Stokes returns for Gonzaga. Still 8-0 on the scoreboard in favor of the Bulldogs in this third quarter. Nearly 4 minutes gone by here in quarter number 3. Stokes thought about it. Still 10 to shoot here for the Zags. Hollingsworth will put it on the floor over Pollard, got a piece of it, and then into the hands of Mariah Hudgens. Here's Jade Kadee down low to Pollard. She gets cut off, trying to hit Schaefer, and jumping into the passing lane, Stokes with another steal. Now a pass underneath, too tall for a Hollingsworth. And out of bounds, it'll be Santa Clara basketball. Broncos now at just 36% from the floor. 1 out of 7 from three-point range. And no points in this third quarter. Here's Tess Heel. She'll let it go from deep. Misses well long. Schaefer able to grab the offensive rebound. Back to Pollard in the corner for three. Broncos needed that.
Olivia Pollard has been The one Bronco been able to hit from beyond the arc today. She's got both of them 2 for 2, and again, she's got the shooting stroke going recently.
See if that can get Santa Clara going a bit here in the third quarter. Hollingsworth's three is off the mark. Hudgens the rebound, gets swarmed, but finds Heel. Past the midpoint here of the third quarter. Gonzaga up by 18. Heel directing traffic. Goes around the Schaefer screen. Now into the hands of Jade Kadee. 9 to shoot. Here's Schaefer underneath. She misses, but a foul. And that'll be on Stokes, her second. And a couple of free throws coming for Emma Schaefer on the other end of this timeout. 4:32 to go in the third quarter. And it's Gonzaga up by 18.
All right, fans, turn your attention back to the video board.
Gonzaga up by 18. Third quarter from the Levy Center. And a couple of free throws coming for Emma Schaefer. Broncos haven't gotten any bench points yet in this game. Schaefer will try and change that here. Schaefer had a double-double in the win over Pepperdine a week ago. 11 points, 11 rebounds. A grad transfer from Bucknell. Hits both free throws. And she'll now head to the bench with Keely Frawley back in.
Schaefer's been playing well, I think, in this game. Her presence has been felt. You know, you don't see it all in the box score. She does have the 3 rebounds, a block, and assist, but she's done a great job in this game defensively. And some good defense there.
Yeah, they set up a trap and a held ball. It'll be Gonzaga basketball in the possession arrow. Broncos have scored the last 5 points, trying to get back into it here. Still time for that, but a 16-point Gonzaga lead. Here's a wide open Maxwell. Can't hit the 3. Maxwell's been quiet in this game. 0 of 5 from 3-point range. One of the best shooters in the country. Here's Kadee going baseline. Now she'll dribble it back out. Heel hasn't scored in this second half. Here's Olivia Pollard back to Hudgens. 6 to shoot. Heel's going to have to go. Now in front of the bench, Frawley's 3 off the mark and a Gonzaga rebound. Now quickly back the other way, and it's Hivens beating the defense. The pass from Kaylee Trong. Gonzaga had gone over 4 minutes without scoring, but they get the bucket there. Santa Clara really unable to take much advantage of that scoring drought. Still an 18-point difference. Pollard's baseline jumper is short. Inside of 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Again, Hybens cutting to the basket, and she's got 2 more. Hybens with 10 off the Gonzaga bench. And we're going to get another Santa Clara timeout with 2:43 on the clock. Broncos now down by 20. Well, we have a few moments. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedules. First for Santa Clara, it's brought to you by Heffernan Insurance. And after 3 straight home games, now they've got 3 straight road games coming up, which will begin Saturday afternoon over in Moraga against St. Mary's.
Always a lot of fun when those teams get together. That'll be a big matchup against a strong St. Mary's team. And you're right, we'll see if the Broncos can get some road wins.
Broncos will be back at home on February 8th to take on San Diego. Broncos only have 1 timeout remaining now. 2:43 on the clock here in this third quarter. And a 20-point Bulldogs lead. Tess Heel stops inside the free throw line. Can't get it to go. She remains very quiet after 14 first half points. However, a Gonzaga turnover, and it'll go back to Santa Clara.
Well, again, the Bulldogs defense has been terrific in this one, and in the second half, Santa Clara just 1 for 9 from the field. You referenced the scoring drought. As right as I say that, Tess Heel gets to the basket, but again, during that scoring drought for Gonzaga, their defense is what allowed them to maintain control of the game, and they still lead it by 18.
She can make it look so easy sometimes.
She really can.
Like on that last attempt. It hasn't been that easy much of the night. Little bounce pass to a wide open Ejim. Can't leave her open. And back up to a 20-point lead.
That was a nice job by Little, too. Not panicking at the double team, just being patient. And you're right, that's someone you don't want to leave open. And she finished.
Hollard. She'll take the shot, misses. Ejim goes flying in for the rebound, and we're going to get a Santa Clara foul here. Both Ejim and Frawley on the floor, and there'll be a foul on Keely Frawley, her first.
Ejim plays with so much energy, chasing down her 10th rebound there to give her a double-double. She's also got 5 assists in this game.
Kaylin Trong trying to hit a teammate, but it's stolen by Jade Kadee. Final 70 seconds here of the third quarter. Broncos have been held to only 7 points in the quarter. That shot may have been partially blocked. And Gonzaga back the other way, up by 20. Broncos just really haven't gone on any kind of sustained run in this game. Gonzaga was up 8 at the end of the first quarter, stretched the lead to 13 at the half. And now with that 3 from Kaylee Trong, it's up to a 23-point advantage, their largest lead of the ballgame.
There's a reason they're number 17. When you've got the Trong twins and you've got Maxwell, who hasn't been hitting the threes today, but for the season is at 44%, and then Ejim inside. It's almost impossible to guard all of them.
Heel, the step back 3. That's too long. A Gonzaga rebound. They've got time. Final 10 seconds here of the quarter. There's a behind the back dribble. Everything but the finish there from Kaylee Trong. Got players on the deck. And we'll get a held ball with 0.6 seconds. Santa Clara possession. I think they would have preferred just hitting that clock roll all the way down.
I was going to say, that's maybe the one time you don't want to have the possession arrow, because now you give it up for just 0.6 seconds. But good hustle from both sides there, getting down on the floor.
So that will be the end of the third quarter. Broncos managed, again, only the 7 third quarter points. And Gonzaga has opened up a 23-point lead. Fourth quarter action is next.
All right, fans, we've got another contest. Here to tell you about is our man Mo.
About to start the fourth quarter here in Santa Clara. And Gonzaga with a 23-point lead. Broncos were just 2 of 11 from the floor. Or rather 2 of 13 from the floor in that third quarter. Held to just the 7 points.
Bulldogs ball starting the fourth.
And it will be Gonzaga basketball here to start the fourth. Bulldogs trying to sweep the season series against Santa Clara. Actually has been a closer game than when these teams met a couple of weeks ago up in Spokane. And Gonzaga won by 38 as Ejim operating underneath. Another bucket. She's already got a double-double in this one. 19 points to go with 11 rebounds. Here's Latu creating some space. Misses. Laura Edmondson, the offensive rebound. Here's Jade Kadee, a deep 3. Rims out. And a Bulldogs rebound. Defense collapses on Ejim, so the Bulldogs kick it out. Minute gone by here in the fourth quarter. That shot no good from Kalen Trong. Broncos look to push in transition, and Malia Latu gets one to go.
Good quick burst there from Latu. Saw the spot, found some space along the left side.
He's definitely a scorer, a slasher. Nice offensive game. You saw it on that last possession as a foul here in the backcourt on Narrow.
Callie Stokes returns to the Bulldog lineup for Esther Little.
Stokes back in here for Gonzaga. 23-point Bulldogs lead. 8:40 to go in this one. Bulldogs have been led by Ejim's 19. Kalen Trong with 14. Kaylee with 12. Hybens off the bench with 10. 4 Bulldogs players in double figures. And we'll get an offensive foul here as Edmondson draws the contact. And the foul on Ejim is her third.
Nice job there by Edmondson at position. Ejim just a little too aggressive with the off arm. When you talk about Ejim with those 19 points, her consistency, I think, is what's most impressive. She's now scored in double figures 27 straight games, on the brink of a 13th 20-point game this year.
And a player who has just gotten better and better as her career has gone on. I mean, as a freshman, didn't play a whole lot. She averaged only 4 points per game. Took on a more central role as a sophomore, moved into the starting lineup last year. And things really blew up for her last season. And now, I mean, you alluded to it, these are all-American kind of numbers that she's putting up this year as a senior. I think it's fun in this day and age of college basketball to see a player develop like that at one school over a 4-year period.
No question. I think it's a credit to her and her work ethic. I think it's a credit to this Gonzaga program and the coaching staff under Lisa Fortier. This is what they do. They develop players very well.
Corner 3 from Salenbein misses. 7.5 to go. Gonzaga up by 23.
And I know we've talked about it earlier, but that's also what makes this team this year so tough, is they're veterans. They're all seniors and grad students. A lot of experience among this group.
Emma Schaefer returns to the Bronco lineup.
Oh yeah, it will be a Gonzaga team that will look a little bit different next year with all the experience that is out of eligibility. But then you look at some of the players they bring in off the bench that are supremely talented, that would probably also put up real big numbers if they had starters minutes this year.
And the cycle continues.
Yeah, it just keeps on rolling for this program. Maxwell grabbed that rebound, turned and hit. Why not?
Well, I'll tell you, when they caught, my attention this year is another turnover, great defense. But when they beat Stanford earlier this year by 18 points up in Spokane, put up 96 on that Cardinal team. I mean, that is a statement. And you knew right then that, this is a national contender, I think.
Gonzaga has won the WCC regular season title in 17 of the last 18 years. And they certainly look to have a group that could do it again this season. Ejim couldn't get that one to go, but Hollingsworth the offensive rebound. Bulldogs up by 25. Their largest lead of the game. And now Maxwell starting to heat up.
Brenna Maxwell.
6 points for Maxwell. She's a fifth-year player, transfer from Utah. Her second season with the Bulldogs. Here's Tess Heel off the window.
Tess Heel.
Heel's got 18 now to lead all Broncos. 65-40 is the Gonzaga lead. They've led pretty much the entire way. Here's a three-point attempt. Off the mark from Hollingsworth. Heel getting swarmed. Now Pollard, a wing three. Off the front rim, Schaefer fighting hard for the offensive rebound, throws it out in your center court. But it's Gonzaga basketball, and the transition three from Maxwell. Oh, all she needs is one.
Well, what's amazing is, you know, that, as you said, that's her first three of the day, 1 for 6 now, and even with her sort of having a down performance offensively, they just have so many weapons that, you know, you've got the Trong sisters, you got Ejim, you got Hybens coming off the bench as a nice chance at a three-point play here.
So the bucket for Heel will give her 20 points. Well, how about the upcoming schedule on the Gonzaga side? It's a challenging Bay Area road trip. Obviously, they're handling things quite well this evening, but they'll be next up in San Francisco on Saturday afternoon to take on the Dons. And then they actually do have another road game next week. They'll head down to Southern California to play San Diego. Won't be back in Spokane until February the 3rd. That'll be a good matchup at home against Pacific, a top-tier program in the conference this year. Rare free throw miss from Heel, but a Santa Clara offensive rebound. Gonzaga up by 26. Midpoint here of the fourth quarter. Araki, the corner three is well short. Gonzaga pulls down the rebound. That was Hybens. She's fouled. And that will bring us to our final mandatory timeout of this game. 4:53 on the clock. And it's the Gonzaga Bulldogs on the road, up big. Back here at the Levy Center on the campus of Santa Clara University. It has been all Gonzaga tonight. The first place Bulldogs, 68-42 lead. 4:53 remaining on the clock. Bulldogs led by Yvonne Ejim's 19 points. As we get Maxwell out of the timeout, a quick three. Maxwell with 12.
You said it, Joe. It just takes one for her. She's got it rolling now. Felt like she was at 2 points about a minute ago, and now up to 12.
She's hit more threes than any player in the conference this season. Such a quick release. Talked about that game against Stanford. She poured in a season-high 27 that day to help the Zags beat the Cardinal. 29-point Gonzaga advantage here. Haley Trong, the only Gonzaga starter still in the game, as we get a foul away from the ball. It will go against the Zags.
Bulldogs foul number 1, Destiny Burton, her first.
Well, you thought maybe Santa Clara, there was a little spurt there at the end of the second quarter. They got it to 13, the difference at halftime. The Broncos have only scored 13 points in the first 16 minutes here of the second half. An offense that has just been shut down by this Gonzaga team, and we're just not accustomed to seeing that for Santa Clara, especially on this floor.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, this is a team that averages better than 70 points a game. Average 8 3-pointers per game, just 2 for 14 in this one. And you got to give credit to the Zags defensively. I think the Broncos would probably point at some good looks that they've missed. But this is the second straight game against Gonzaga where, you know, the Bulldogs defense has completely shut down the Broncos. Held them in the 40s.
I think it has made it so frustrating because Santa Clara's had a great season so far. They're 15-5. Have a chance at a top half finish in the conference. Maybe postseason play if they continue to win at this rate. And I know they felt that they were much better than what they showed in Spokane a couple of weeks ago and thought they'd be able to turn things around a bit here and play a much more competitive game on this floor. And yet here we are, 3.5 left, and now Gonzaga's got a 30-point lead.
I think You also have to give Gonzaga some credit as Heel gets another 2, but the focus level for them to come in and, you know, they've won 12 in a row. They don't take anybody lightly. As you said, they had a dominant win against Santa Clara at home a couple weeks ago, and they have brought the same level of energy today on the road.
I think there's no doubt Gonzaga's had this game circled as well as one of their toughest conference road games. And they did have that focus and intensity from the very first minute, you could tell, here tonight.
Especially with what happened last year with the Broncos getting that upset on this floor. Perhaps a little redemption for the Bulldogs. Tough shots. Wow.
Hybens again underneath. She's one of those players where, again, off the bench, she's only a junior. And looks like she might be one of the next stars here for this Gonzaga program going forward. She's got 12 points, 6 of 7 shooting in this game. Here's Jade Kadee from the corner. That's no good. Frawley fighting hard for the rebound, but knocks it out of bounds, and it'll go back to Gonzaga with 2:40 remaining.
Now, it's interesting, at the beginning of the game, I was talking about one of the keys for Gonzaga, slow down Tess Heel. Well, Heel actually has the 22 points on 8 of 16 shooting. I think the key for the Bulldogs defensively is they just haven't let anyone else get going for this Broncos team. No one else in double figures. That's been huge as another 3. And you're right, Hybens looking like a star today.
She's got 15. Gonzaga will use a substitution timeout here to get Trong off the floor. 2:24 left, and it's now 78-45 Bulldogs.
Well, you've got 5 players that average double figures for the Bulldogs, and Hybens is not one of them, but showing that she's got that capability. 7 of 8 from the floor today.
And you knew Santa Clara needed to have one of their better three-point shooting games of the year if they were going to have a chance. Here today is Destiny Burton with a bucket. And it just hasn't happened that way for the Broncos. Only 2 of 16 from distance. And they have not been able to keep up with Gonzaga today as Keely Frawley, a nice move. Couldn't get it to go, though, off the glass. And a rebound for Hybens.
And as you said, particularly in this second half, just 16 points as Gonzaga continues the run here. But 16 points in the second half on 24% from the field for the Broncos.
It's a season high 6 points for Burton. And now we get a pass out of bounds and a Santa Clara turnover. Well, the Broncos will look to bounce back on Saturday with the game over in Moraga against St. Mary's. That's a Bay Area rivalry matchup. And it'll be the first of 2 meetings between the Broncos and the Gales this season. A result here today which will drop Santa Clara back to 500 in conference play at 3-3. Although I suppose they can look at it as well. At least we're done with Gonzaga. 2 of those 3 losses.
That's a good point.
For the first place Bulldogs. And perhaps they can pile up some wins against a lot of the other teams in this WCC. For the Bulldogs, they just continue to roll. They'll improve to 6-0 in conference play. That'll be their 13th win in a row. And an overall record at 19-2. They came in ranked 17th in the AP poll this week. Hudgens a little short. Gonzaga with a rebound, and they can just hold it here as the final seconds tick off. And Gonzaga will sweep the season series. They beat Santa Clara by 38 in Spokane, and they'll beat them by 37 here this evening at the Levy Center. Broncos suffer their first home loss of the year, and this was all Gonzaga from the very beginning.
That was impressive. Coming in here, we talked about how good this Santa Clara team has been at home, and Gonzaga right from the get-go, aside from just a few seconds, led it almost wire to wire. And as we said, coming off what they did last time at home against Santa Clara, to beat this team by 30-plus points twice in a row. Again, this is a good Broncos team. Joe, as you mentioned, they're 15-6 even after this loss. But Gonzaga, another level, and I think they have shown that they're not just a contender in the WCC, but this could be the type of year where they've got Final Four potential.
19-2, the record now for the Bulldogs. Their Bay Area road trip will continue on Saturday afternoon against San Francisco. Our game here today has been brought to you by DevCon Construction, building the future of Santa Clara athletics. By Lux Bus America, covering more ground in more places. By Pizza Chicago Santa Clara, serving the community since 1991. And by One Workplace, creating spaces that inspire and transform the way you work. Well, some of the final numbers in this game, Gonzaga ends up shooting it at 54%. Broncos held to just 32% shooting and only 2 of 16 from three-point range, and a significant advantage on the glass for Gonzaga. They were plus 21, really just dominated in all facets here today.
Yeah, you look up and down the stats, and you're right. I mean, this was an impressive performance by Gonzaga, both ends of the floor. We've talked about how they can score, and they average better than 80 points per game. But defensively, this team is really good, too. They rebound. Hard to find a weakness on this Bulldogs team. There's a reason they're 19-2, ranked number 17 in the nation, and perhaps with another win can move up even more in the rankings.
Such balance for the Zags at 5 players in double figures, led by Yvonne Ejim, Conference Player of the Year candidate, 19 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. She was as advertised here tonight.
She was, and she did it in a lot of different ways, you know, inside, outside. I love the way that she reads the game, too, and reads a lot of those offensive rebounds. She's so quick to the spot. She knows where it's going to end up, and she can pass the ball, too, with those 5 assists. It makes her very tough to defend. You know, when you've got the shooters that Gonzaga does from the outside, it's essential for a player like Ejim to be able to find that open player if she's double teamed. She does that really well, and it makes them hard to defend.
Really exciting to think about the potential for this Gonzaga team going into March. Other top scorers for the Zags today. Hybens had 15 off the bench. Kaylin Trong with 14. Kaylee, her twin sister, 12. 12 for Maxwell, all late. From Santa Clara's perspective, Tess Heel got hers today, 22, but she was the only player in double figures. Broncos just didn't get enough from others.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. And for Tess Heel, you know, she had the 3 assists as well, but 22 points, no one else in double figures. And I think that's where the Bulldogs did a great job defensively. They didn't let anyone else get involved, and that's how you go in and win a road game by 37.
Broncos will look to bounce back on the road Saturday in Moraga against St. Mary's. Remember to stay tuned tonight as the Bronco men host Pepperdine. That's a 7 p.m. tip right here on ESPN+, a doubleheader tonight at the Levy Center. For my partner, Ben Ross, and the entire ESPN Plus production team, I'm Joe Ritzel, thanking you for watching. Gonzaga wins big, 82-45. This has been a presentation